Toronto, man, the crazy story of BUNDOG. Hold on.
Shots ring out early Saturday
Like, comment, subscribe.
morning at a Super Bowl weekend party near West Hollywood.
Asked him, there's no way when I was with him, he could have got shot. Nobody around me getting shot.
You got dudes like BUNDOG. I don't know if you know BUNDOG Pressa, brother.
Oh, I know Pressa.
Yo, listen, his brother.
When the young bucks in the spot, that's damn. Run up on your block, know them things gon' blam. Trust no one, keep the metal in my hand. Cause these young niggas out here running to my scam. You get it, man? My head spinning like a fan.
Shamar Gardner, better known by his rap name BUNDOG, was born into a world of hardship and struggle. His neighborhood, Driftwood Court, was known for its
YG. Shout out to YG.
into a world of hardship and struggle. His neighborhood, Driftwood Court, was known for its unforgiving streets, where dreams often met a tragic end. But little did anyone know that from these very streets, a future star would emerge. Born October...
We live right now. Follow the kick. Like this video where y'all see it on YouTube. Comment. Subscribe if you didn't subscribe already. Toronto. Olad. Where we at?
20th, 1992. BUNDOG's formative years were marked by adversity. His father, Mark Anthony Gardner Sr., street name Prestige.
Nigga looks just like Pressa. This is Pop. That's their Pops. Oh shit, he was crippin'. What line?
Not only has a lengthy criminal record consisting of convictions for drugs and violent crimes, but a very bad temper. On a June night in 1995, the then 24-year-old Prestige, who at the time was on parole for bank robbery, decided to vent his usual anger out on a 26-year-old volunteer security guard named David Williams. Williams, who spent his days working for the city as a youth worker, was volunteering as a doorman during a dance for high schoolers at a banquet hall on Weston Road. The job was simple. Guests provide a ticket, Williams accepts it and lets them in. Prestige, however, attempted to get into the dance without a ticket, resulting in Williams confronting him. The two engaged in a heated argument that escalated into Prestige threatening to kill Williams.
Nigga, get out the way for niggas smoking, nigga. You security, get out the way.
Security niggas be getting shit.
Niggas be security be doing too much. Security be doing too much.
Yeah, that's when you become a lover, man.
Moments later, Prestige calmly retrieved a handgun from his car, returned to the dance, and fired a single shot at Williams, killing him instantly. "I said I'd shoot you," Prestige reportedly told the dying man before fleeing the scene. A judge called it a deliberate execution and sentenced Prestige to 15 years in prison for...
Damn, that was 9-5 though. He home now. Damn, nigga boomed him. I told you I'll shoot you, nigga. Niggas be playing around until it happens, until they get their ass boomed. Got his ass boomed.
The judge called it a deliberate execution and sentenced Prestige to 15 years in prison for second-degree murder. BUNDOG was 3, while his brother Quentin, widely known by his rap name Pressa, was just 36 days old when their father pulled that trigger. The murder sentence created a financial crunch in the Gardner household. During a court hearing, their mother submitted a letter saying that money was tight. She was faced with a dilemma. On one hand, she needed to leave the house to earn money. On the other hand, she needed to stay home to keep her children from the criminal influences that pervaded their neighborhood. Either way, the boys would have to learn to navigate a world where good deeds aren't always rewarded. You see, the Gardner family weren't just living in some rough area, they were living in the heart of it. City of Toronto statistics show that Driftwood is the least livable community in the city, based on an aggregation of scores for education, employment, mortality, and other criteria. Unemployment is roughly twice the national average. 1/3 of residents collect social assistance, and gun and gang violence is damn near a common occurrence. Gang violence in the General Jane and Finch corridor got so bad that it became divided into two factions. There's up top, which is the north side of Jane and Finch. It's a predominantly Crip territory and is home to gangs like the G-Siders, Driftwood Crips, and the infamous Young Buck Killers, a violent crew whom I'll discuss later in the video. Then there's down bottom, which is the south side of Jane and Finch, home to gangs such as the Connection Young Bloods and the Lanes. Down bottom is where the Bloods call home. Coincidentally, Bundog was raised in the down bottom area because his father is originally from there. He spent a few years in the blood-affiliated block until he moved in with his mother up in Driftwood in the 3rd grade. As he navigated the seemingly never-ending challenges of his environment, Bundog found solace in basketball. It was his first passion, and he was pretty good at it. But by the time he got into high school, his size began to interfere with his advancement in the sport.
That ain't high school. They just showed a clip of him balling right now. I'm about to say, this nigga did not have a belly on in high school. You see him? I thought this was high school.
Bundog found solace in basketball.
I thought this
it was
nigga
his
had
first
the belly
passion, and he
on
was pretty good at
high
it.
school.
But by the time he got into high school, his size began to interfere with his advancement in the sport. Realizing he wouldn't be able to make it to the league, he no longer saw school as having any value and started to skip without his mother's knowledge. Eventually, he dropped out, earning only 7 credits towards his high school diploma. Mr. Devin Jones is a teacher with the Toronto District School Board and a co-founder of a grassroots community organization operating out of the Jane and Finch area of Toronto. In more than 2 decades teaching in the Driftwood area, Mr. Jones has witnessed countless young men turn to crime as a solution to their marginal circumstances. He likens the neighborhood to a prison where young people become habituated to poverty and violence. Mr. Jones first met Bundog when he was in grade 6 at Brookview Middle School, where he is a teacher. He worked with him as both a student and in the community through basketball and other programs, and described him as a very productive, engaging, and respectful student. Today, Mr. Jones avoids speaking directly about the Gardners' circumstances, but talks openly about one of their close friends, Kwasi Skeen Peters, better known in the streets as Wasi. Mr. Jones recalls one Saturday in 2005 when gunfire erupted in Driftwood, leaving a Driftwood-based gang member dead on a footbridge. He watched Wasi, then a preteen, stumble across the bullet-riddled body. I thought to myself, he will never be a kid again, Mr. Jones said. There's no way you can see something this grotesque as a child and go on to become a normal functioning human being. Mr. Jones encouraged Bundog and Wasi to join his grassroots community organization, which he started after the footbridge incident to steer at-risk kids off the streets and into school. On at least one occasion, he took Bundog and Wasi to a camp outside the city to remove them from the life that was beginning to envelop them. While Mr. Jones's tireless efforts put hundreds of children on a path to post-secondary education, he could not save Wasi and Bundog. The 2 friends dropped out of school to work various part-time minimum wage jobs before entering the drug trade full-time. When the 2 saw other kids in the Driftwood neighborhood making fast money dealing drugs, the transition into drug trafficking was easy for them. Before you know it, Bundog was manufacturing and distributing by the age of 18, and by 19, he became the head honcho of one of the most violent street gangs in Toronto.
Guns, drugs, attempted murder, prostitution. We have breaking news this hour on a cross-Canada crackdown on gang crime. Raids are underway in cities from Toronto all the way out to Vancouver.
Handguns, automatic rifles, and more than $100,000 in cash. Items seized during yesterday's cross-country crackdown.
The project quickly developed into a criminal organization involving 2 criminal gangs. The Young Buck Killers, also referred to as YBK, and the G-Siders.
Started by a small group of friends in the Uptop community, the Young Buck Killers, also known as YBK, specialized in the trafficking of drugs and guns. YBK was formerly known as the Young Blood Killers, which is in reference to their main rivals, the Connection Young Bloods. According to 8 confidential informants, YBK were led by 3 gang bosses: Mohammed Hersi, Guled Mahadale, who was the brother of rapper FB, and the man himself, Bundog. Living in a community where drug use was rampant, they became successful enough to rent apartments and condos as safe houses for underlings to work out of and sleep in. With the mass recruitment of youngsters from the block, the local drug operation eventually turned to a province-wide business, with high-ranking members even conducting operations within detention facilities. Within a few years of creation, the number of members reached into the hundreds, with several scattered throughout Canada. YBK grew so big, by the fall of 2011, Toronto police classified them as a criminal organization and began taking action version of a RICO and named it Project Marvel. Their first course of action?
Niggas got 100 niggas in the gang, you know it's about to be 70 rats, 60 rats. Niggas just joining and just having mad niggas joining the gang. Man, niggas, yo, they was doing, you know who used to do that out here? Not even the Goonies did that. When they first started, the K&O niggas. When they first started, bro, them niggas had bare niggas. Just random niggas.
What?
Nigga, them niggas was the deepest. They was going at it with the goon. They had the heist niggas. They had niggas, just weird niggas from everywhere. Just, just weird niggas. When that shit first started, bro, it was thousands of these niggas, bro. Now look, there's probably 10 of them niggas. 20 of them niggas, 10 of them niggas now. The rest niggas in jail, dead, or just bozoed off.
Wiretaps, a whole lot of them. From May to December of 2011, Toronto police collected a substantial amount of evidence against BUNDOG and numerous YBK members through wiretaps. From teaching youngsters how to properly package certain drugs to organizing a hit on a rival gang member, investigators heard it all. On paper, it amounted to more than 500 pages worth of evidence. I won't be detailing each piece of evidence. Rather, I'll be analyzing incidents I believe forced investigators to cease the operations of the young buck killers. The earliest documented crime was the February 2011 shooting of Derek Palmer. In a neighborhood some distance to the west of Jane and Finch, Palmer was struck by a bullet fired by a passenger in a car. He survived the shooting, but he did not see any of the suspects. 3 months later, on May 10th, at around 3 p.m., O'Neal Galburn and his two companions were in up-top territory when they were shot at. 8 hours after this incident, Andrew Nugent and a friend were in down-bottom territory, specifically in the Grassways neighborhood, when they were approached by 3 black males armed with handguns. Nugent was shot twice. Fortunately, he survived. The next day, residents of a neighborhood some distance to the west of Jane and Finch reported hearing the sound of gunshots in a parking lot. It was late at night and no one saw the perpetrators. The police attended and found gunshot damage to 2 parked cars. The next day, residents of a down-bottom neighborhood known as the Lanes reported gunshots fired at their homes.
Niggas was dumping every day. Every night, nigga, they was going back and forth. Every night.
Residents of a down-bottom neighborhood known as the Lanes reported gunshots fired at their homes. It was late at night, and once the police arrived at the scene, they found a number of shell casings and projectiles, as well as gunshot damage to the homes. Surveillance video showed 3 or more suspicious males wearing all dark clothing. After this 4th shooting, police surveillance efforts were made to trail BUNDOG and his accomplices. A number of suspects were followed between May 14th and August 16th, 2011. Some of them could not be found and some of them engaged in counter-surveillance tactics, but the one particularly useful piece of surveillance evidence was conducted on May 14th. On that day, BUNDOG was observed exiting his residence shortly after 2 p.m. 2 hours later, Pressa was seen going into the backyard and coming back out with a noticeable bulge in his waistband area. 10 minutes later, Pressa returned to the backyard, clutching his waistband with his left hand. When he reemerged, the bulge in his waistband was gone. At 8:20 p.m. that evening, officers executed a search warrant on BUNDOG and Pressa's residence, which saw the seizure of 2 handguns from a shed in the backyard. 2 months later, on July 8, 2011, Toronto police were advised by forensic ballistic experts that the shell casings and projectiles found at the scene of the 4 shootings that were previously mentioned matched both of the guns seized from the Gardner household. Although Toronto police now had forensic evidence linking BUNDOG and Pressa to 4 shootings, it still wasn't enough to take down the entire operation of the young buck killers, so the investigation continued. From July through to September, YBK slowed down on their illicit activities, but come October, it picked back up again, but this time around, things got drastically more violent. On October 1st, 2011, Shamari White, better known as rapper whyg, robbed a kid who went by the nickname Brains for his white gold chain. In an intercepted phone call the day after the robbery, BUNDOG talked at length about YG's robbery of Brains, going as far as calling it a quote-unquote young buck thing. He also spoke about coming back to Toronto to build a drug program. He went further into detail, talking about how he wasn't going back to Driftwood until he had loaded up on drugs and guns to give to his YBK underlings. Later that day, Officer Asner of Toronto Police Services arrested an individual at 390 Driftwood Avenue in connection with an alleged domestic dispute. The individual identified himself as Shane Campbell and said he resided there. He was eventually released and most of the property found on him at the time of his arrest, including a white gold chain, was returned to him. The only thing that wasn't returned to him was a BlackBerry bowl because Campbell said it wasn't his and he didn't know where he got it from. After searching through pictures taken on the phone, officers discovered the man who identified himself as Campbell was actually whyg, and the chain found on him belonged to Brains. Further investigation also concluded the BlackBerry bowl was registered to one Quincy Taylor, which is an alias BUNDOG used when conducting his illicit activities. 2 days later, whyg called BUNDOG and told him that he lost his phone. He then proceeded to make up an elaborate story about losing it, saying he and other YBK members were in a taxi with a gun when they were suddenly stopped by police. whyg said he jumped out of the car and ran, leaving the phone in the car, but as the police chased him, the others got away with the gun. When whyg said the police probably have the phone, BUNDOG expressed concern that there were pictures and videos and a lot of his quote-unquote personal shit in the phone. A week later, at approximately 1:59 a.m. on October 15th, 20-year-old YBK member Christopher Rookwood was shot and killed at a townhouse complex located in Uptop Territory. Several YBK members were there when it happened, one of them being rapper GD. Following the murder, wiretaps intercepted a series of calls made by BUNDOG, GD, and other YBK members. They were all distraught, with GD explaining what happened to Rookwood in gruesome detail. He explained how Rookwood got hit in the chest with a bullet from a long rifle. There was blood everywhere, the walls were ripped apart, and the apartment looked like a battlefield. Muhammad Hersey was at the scene of the shooting as well, and he tried firing off defensive shots, but GD claims the .40 caliber he was shooting with was sounding like a .22 compared to the guns the ops had. Before ending the call, several elder YBK members, including GD, voiced their displeasure of whyg. They felt his behavior was detrimental to the gang, with some even blaming him for Rookwood's death. Court documents failed to detail why the elder members felt this way, but it's clear there was tension brewing within the gang, and the only person who can take action was BUNDOG. He ended up sending whyg back to Toronto to ease the tension as he continued to conduct his drug operation in Surrey, BC. Based off the intercepted phone calls, it's clear Rookwood's death affected BUNDOG deeply, but just a few hours later, it was back to business as usual for the gang boss. While he was in Surrey setting up a drug program, BUNDOG arranged to purchase 2 handguns, some marijuana, and in order to send them all back to Toronto for use by YBK. BUNDOG instructed other members of YBK in Toronto to send Derek Kusi, a junior member of YBK, out to BC to be the courier. Kusi was in BC for just over 24 hours, and during that time, BUNDOG instructed him on how to pack the contraband safely for travel. BUNDOG also made sure Kusi had sufficient money to purchase a bus ticket to Toronto. Unfortunately for Kusi, officers were well aware of what was going on and stopped him at the Surrey bus terminal. Upon his arrest, he was found with 2 guns, ammunition, and an ounce of. Following Kusi's arrest, there was a series of telephone calls involving BUNDOG and others discussing why Kusi had not arrived in Toronto, where he might be, and where the items he was bringing were. There was also a phone call made by whyg asking BUNDOG where to obtain a firearm somewhere in Hamilton. 11 days after the conversation, GD was shot in the foot in Hamilton. Shortly after the shooting, BUNDOG was called by one of his associates who was with GD, asking him what they should do. BUNDOG told them to call 911, which they did. A few minutes later, before the police arrived at the scene, the associate called BUNDOG back, asking him what they should do with the gun they had. BUNDOG instructed them to give the gun to another associate who was also with GD, Prince Asante, and have him leave. BUNDOG then met up with whyg and they joined up with Asante in a black Charger, but they were stopped by police a few minutes later. Asante was arrested, but BUNDOG and whyg got out the car and jumped a nearby fence together, successfully evading arrest. The police subsequently found a loaded .45 caliber automatic handgun on the floor of the Charger. Based off wiretap conversations later that night between BUNDOG, whyg, and several other YBK members, it was clear that they knew who shot GD, and there was talk of retaliation. However, Toronto police believed they now had a sufficient amount of evidence to establish BUNDOG and his YBK underlings had access to multiple guns, which were used not only for protection while carrying out their drug programs, but also for retaliation if required. So, 2 days later, Project...
Yo, man, damn, son. That's the fucked up shit about the wiretaps. And this 2011 and shit. What year was this said this was? This is years ago, so, you know, shit's spooky back then. Like, niggas wasn't really hip. So niggas was getting on the phone still crazy. Niggas getting on the phone so crazy. Yeah, we had to get up out that call. We had to 4/5 and say some dumb shit.
Marvel commenced at approximately.
You can't even say it was dumb shit back in the day, because niggas back in the day, niggas ain't, you feel me? Niggas ain't really on point like that. Nowadays, you know, nigga, it better be FaceTime. It better be
5 in the morning, nearly 900 law enforcement officers from various departments began executing 67 search warrants simultaneously across Toronto, Hamilton, Ottawa, and Surrey, British Columbia. On December 13th, 2011, at 6:15 a.m., BUNDOG was arrested at a residence on 2360 Weston Road along with another YBK member. In the apartment, officers seized drug and drug trafficking contraband such as scales and wads of cash. Police also seized 2 phones, both of which contained several videos and pictures of BUNDOG and other YBK affiliates flaunting drugs, guns, and money. Project Marvel ended with 60 arrests, 10 being young offenders. They were charged with nearly 400 offenses. In total, the raid seized $110,000 in cash and 27 firearms. Project Marvel made headlines across the country, but one story that caught my eye was this botched raid.
Maud Mirage doesn't hear very well, but she says she certainly heard police kick in her bedroom door yesterday morning. A police rifle pointed at her head.
I was extremely shocked. I was like, my heart just dropped.
Natalie Brown says she got a call that her great-grandmother was in jail. She says police kept her there for nearly 12 hours.
That niggas locked Granny up, nigga. Them niggas booked Granny, nigga.
Without food or her medication before finally letting her go.
Having lived for 94 years, she hasn't experienced nothing like this before, so it's pretty terrible.
Police say they
slapped the cuffs on grandma, nigga. That's great granny. She 94. Nigga, I'd have crashed out on the police. I ain't gonna lie. Touch my grandma, nigga, I'm crashing out.
My grandma hand you with that gang.
94 is crazy.
Actually looking for Mirage's grandson, a 21-year-old alleged gang member who's now behind bars facing weapons charges.
According to court documents, Toronto police conducted several raids in the Driftwood court neighborhood at 5 in the morning. During one of them, they kicked down the door of an elderly woman expecting to find her grandson. That grandson ended up being BUNDOG, who was found in the west end of the city an hour later. The 94-year-old grandmother was arrested and kept in custody for nearly an hour before she was released. The botched raid could have easily destroyed the 3-month investigation officers worked tirelessly on, but the substantial evidence collected made it hard for the courts to dismiss. For years after getting taken down, trial for the head honchos of YBK began. The first one up to hear his fate was Muhammad Hersey. Justice Stephen Clark called him one of the gang's principal leaders with a lengthy criminal history before sentencing him to 13 years in prison. Gully was handed an 8-year sentence and was deported to Somalia. BUNDOG was convicted on 14 different gun, drug, and gang charges. At his sentencing hearing, many of his loved ones were in attendance, including his former teacher, Mr. Jones. Seeing how many people were there to support him, BUNDOG took the opportunity to address the court and provide a heartfelt apology. I was deceived by the generations that preceded me with the cars, the clothes, the women, and the fancy jewelry that this type of lifestyle was a life to live, and it was also the shortcut around the hard work and toil, he said, before expressing hope that Pressa would avoid his example. I feel like I failed my little brother, and if I don't change my life, that kid is never going to change his life, and I have to change for him. BUNDOG was subsequently handed a 10-year sentence. Word around the streets of Toronto claimed BUNDOG's time in prison wasn't easy. After all, he was the shot caller for one of the city's most infamous gang at the time. This made him a major target for rival crews. Reddit users and rival gang members claimed he was beaten on numerous occasions, stabbed, and at one point,
they're in the same prison. They put me on the final one.
Was BUNDOG really a punching bag in prison? You know, niggas gonna talk shit regardless, though. If they ops, the ops gonna say shit if they ops. If they not ops and they say shit like that, then it's crazy. But if it's ops, Even the ops ain't saying shit like that. I don't know.
He had his head shoved in a toilet. Keep in mind, none of the incidents were confirmed to be true, but considering Bundog's notoriety, it wouldn't be surprising if they were. The gang boss was eventually released on parole in 2017, spending a total of 6 years in prison. Most of you may be surprised at how early he was released, but in Canada this is nothing new. According to Canadian law, prisoners are only required to spend 2/3 of their sentence in custody. After that, they are eligible for parole. After being released on parole in 2017, Bundog spent the next 4 years under the radar, that is until he finished parole and dropped his debut single in 2021.
For the low, bricks for the low. Box it up, packs, watching birdies go. Bricks for the low, bricks for the low.
Bricks for the Low was a statement. Bundog was telling Toronto's underground rap scene he was ready to claim his place, and he further proved that statement by founding the music label Blue Feathers Records. Under his guidance, BFR has become a hub for emerging talent, boasting a roster that includes notable artists such as Pressa, J Neat, and whyg. This move not only showcases Bundog's resilience, but also his commitment to uplifting fellow artists and providing them a platform to thrive. Bundog's life in the streets may be long gone, but that doesn't mean he wouldn't be caught up in any more problems. 1 year after completing his parole, he would be back in the spotlight. This time it involved one of the most popular rappers of the decade.
Shots ring out early Saturday morning at a Super Bowl weekend party near West Hollywood. LAPD says 4 men were shot outside of the swanky bar The Nice Guy on La Cienega at Westmount just before 3 this morning. Police say rapper Kodak Black was among those wounded in the shooting.
February 12th, 2022. It's Super Bowl weekend in Los Angeles as their home team, the LA Rams, are set to face off against the Cincinnati Bengals the following day. Fans across the city of Angels hosted their own parties in anticipation for the big event, including pop star Justin Bieber. The Singers Party was a star-studded event featuring guests like Jeff Bezos, Drake, and Kendall Jenner. Kodak and his crew arrived to the event, attempting to get in, but they were denied entry and were told to wait for people to leave. Kodak chose to wait around and take pictures with fans to kill time, but within a few minutes, a fight broke out between a member of Kodak Black's entourage and Pressa, who was also attempting to get into the party. The entire altercation was captured on camera from beginning to end. After reviewing all the footage, it appears the incident started with a member of Kodak's entourage throwing the first punch at Pressa. Instinctively, Pressa ran towards members of his own entourage calling for assistance. As he was running, Pressa lost his footing and was caught by an angry Kodak Black, who began throwing kicks and punches. Seconds later, a masked gunman appears out of nowhere and fired 10 bullets recklessly in the direction of the scuffle. In total, 4 people were struck by bullets, including Kodak.
Oh, that's what Kodak was talking about. Kodak said, we was beating up y'all niggas, 10 of y'all niggas, we beating y'all niggas up.
Kodak can't even fight.
That nigga can't fight. Kodak's fucking lame. Nigga said, but now I just saw live where I guess he was just talking about the shit. He was like, yeah, me and one of them, we 10 of them, we beating them niggas up. Nigga said he fucking tripped.
Seconds later, a masked gunman was calling for assistance. As he was running, Pressa lost his footing and was caught by an angry Kodak Black, who began throwing kicks and punches. Seconds later, a masked gunman appears out of nowhere and fired 10 bullets recklessly in the direction of the scuffle. In total, 4 people were struck by bullets, including Kodak, who was hit in the leg. Fortunately, everyone survived. Kodak spent a few days in hospital rehabilitating his wounded leg and was eventually released. The shooting made international headlines and left people wondering, who was the shooter? That question remained unanswered for less than a week after a blogger by the name of Poetic Flacco released a shocking video pointing out Bundog as the gunman. In the 3-minute and 51-second video, Flacco provided a clip of a one-on-one basketball match between Pressa and singer YK Osiris. The game was played a few hours before the shooting, and Flacco made note of several people in the background who look eerily identical to the men seen trying to pull Pressa.
That's police shit. That's police shit, bro. Doing shit like this is police shit, bro. Like how you point out, you went to the basketball game, pointing niggas' outfits out, and bro, that's some police shit, bro.
The wave of several people in the background who look eerily identical to the men seen trying to pull Pressa away from the scuffle with Kodak and his crew. Flacco then draws the conclusion the masked gunman must be Bundog because he is always masked up and is usually around Pressa. Viewers had mixed feelings about the video. Some praised Bundog for protecting his brother, while others called Flacco a rat for pointing fingers at people without any solid evidence. Although Flacco's accusations have never been confirmed, seeing what would unfold over the next few years suggests he may have not been far off. It all started with Bundog throwing a subliminal shot at Kodak by rapping to his music on Instagram Live right after the shooting hit the news.
This is the hardest song of the year.
whyg then chimed in by mocking KTB Rico, the man who was shot alongside Kodak, after Kodak gave him a bag shortly after the shooting. The online antics seem to have struck a nerve for a number of Kodak's affiliates who decided
Niggas said they bonded over a hot cord. Only rewarded hitters, no victims.
the man who was shot alongside Kodak, after Kodak gave him a bag shortly after the shooting. The online antics seem to have struck a nerve for a number of Kodak's affiliates who decided to respond. It began with KTB Rico posting an Instagram story of a snippet of his new song. One of the bars was aimed at Pressa, saying he had him running.
I keep this Glock and I move like a ghost. I got a couple, I just keep it on the low. And I'm a young nigga shooting like a pro. Speak on yacht and you gon' go and that's on bro. Really had the pressure running like a hoe.
Soon after, Lil Crix, another Kodak affiliate who was there when the shooting went down, messaged Pressa directly, asking him to drop his location, which Pressa did. According to Crix, he saw Pressa run from him and later found out he hopped on a flight the next day. The back and forth between the rappers and their teams continued into the new year after Pressa and Kodak crossed paths again. On January 22nd, 2023, Paris Fashion Week was taking place. The event featured Kodak Black, and in attendance were several celebrities and influencers, including Pressa and whyg. The chance encounter was recorded by whyg, who made note of security that was standing oddly close to him. Having security there may have prevented the chance encounter from turning deadly, but it still wasn't enough to ease tensions between the rappers, especially after Top 5 was released from prison. Toronto rapper Top 5 was released from custody on September 23, 2024, after the Crown stayed a first-degree murder charge against him. Top 5 had been in custody for about 3 years, and not even a week after his release, he went on a press run talking recklessly about his ops, especially Kodak. On the podcast, Late Night with Liamai, Top 5 made an appearance alongside Bundog and whyg. He was asked by the host about his thoughts on Kodak, to which he replied with,
So there's an incident that happened with Kodak Black and Pressa. What's your thoughts about it?
If I was there, Kodak would have been dead.
He would have been dead. So you guys scared to go Miami?
No, we can't crash it. We're not gonna crash it.
You would have been dead, nigga.
That nigga said he'd have been dead. He'd have been gone.
Yo, nah, fuck with Top 5, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That nigga said he would have been dead, nigga. He's serious too, though.
So there's an incident that happened with Kodak Black and Pressa. What's your thoughts about it?
If I was there, Kodak would have been dead.
He would have been dead. So you guys scared to go Miami?
No, we can't crash it. We're not gonna crash it.
But then again, you never know. If I was there, I'd probably kill him too. I can't like probably, you know what I'm saying?
You never know.
Fuck, I don't know what I'll do.
This particular clip went viral on Twitter, to the point Kodak Black felt he had no choice but to finally respond. During a 1-hour Instagram live, Kodak went straight at Pressa and Top 5. He claims he never saw Pressa and whyg at Paris Fashion Week, and if he did, they would have got the hands. He also mentioned the Lil Tyler incident in which Bundog and Top 5 pulled up to his
Stupid ass nigga still trying to fight, nigga. Them niggas showed you they not fighting, dickhead. Nigga, I'd have seen them fashion we got the hands. Just moved you, nigga.
In Toronto and had it shut down after Tyler didn't show up, probably because he sensed something bad was brewing in the alleyway behind the venue.
They say don't give him your energy.
Yo, I'm so mad at Kodak, y'all, to this day. I ain't gonna lie. I'm so mad at Kodak because if you know, y'all don't really know, I used to love Kodak. Like, I used to love Kodak, bro. This shit hurt me. He did that song with 6ix9ine. I ain't gonna lie, that shit hurt me. He did that song with 6ix9ine. I can't fuck with him no more. Cause if I was still a Kodak fan, I would not be fucking with Toronto after this, nigga. Kodak was like my top 3, nigga. I used to listen to Kodak heavy. Like, nah, he's a hoe now. I ain't fucking with him.
I ain't gonna lie, this just be seeming like every time I see him on social media, I be like,
I don't even look at him now. As soon as I see him, I just scroll past. Like,
he just see more day room.
yeah, he did that shit with 6ix9ine. You diluted. Then he went on Drake's chance and said, "That's New York's rap."
Yeah, he said, "I ain't my rap. What the fuck was my rap mean? I don't got no rap. What the fuck you talking about?"
They go, rat's a rat. It don't matter where you from. That nigga said, "That's New York rap." Nigga, what? A rat's a rat.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't. Well, I don't. It just like I can't salute no. I don't respect shit, bro. I don't respect that shit, though. Color Tyler, bro, we vibing. I ain't finna say, bro, when we on that, I ain't gonna say, bro,
Tyler
shit.
ain't
I ain't
like
gonna
that,
say
though.
all that, cause like all us when we men, I believe like every man should have something in them, like some type of like Tyler, a line in them, some kind of way, in some sort. But it's like me, bro, don't got nothing to do with it. And yeah, bro, don't got nothing to do with it. And he don't give that vibe off. Yeah, reaching for too long, homie. And like every little I'm at my fashion show. You just come at my fashion show. You can't look in the crowd. Trust me, if I would have knew you was in the crowd, homie, I would have did the same shit I did to all you when I saw y'all. I punch you up. And who just got a job, I would punch you up too. Ain't no difference. I mean, how I had to shoot. You feel me? Because like I ain't tripping. You would have did your big one. Cool. Me and my homeboy, 2 of us, we beat up 4 of y'all.
You did your big one.
It was 2, like 2 me and 1 dog. I mean, we beat 4 of you up. Period. Hey yo, what my Zoes at in Canada? Ain't it Haitians in Canada? That homie. Ain't it Haitians in Canada? Where y'all at, homie? Y'all tap in with me or my people and I'm homie ASAP, homie. We ain't going for that. That homie. Shit, he's scared of him.
After the live ended, Kodak posted a picture to his Instagram story of him with rapper Cuban Doll, who was once laid up with Top 5 while he was on the run for first-degree murder. Not long after this, Top 5 went live with whyg on 6buzz's Instagram account. Throughout the live, he referred to Kodak as Hodak Pink and threw numerous insults at him, and at one point, threatened his life.
Because he's talking about boxing me, you, and press. I told him, I'm head tapping that, and it's self-defense.
So we really know that he's a certified drug addict that doesn't learn from his mistakes. That
doesn't matter.
Really has mental health. Because he don't happen the last time to him when he tried to put hands on people. What's wrong with Hodak Pink?
Hodak Pink. I'm gonna leave you. Listen, when I see you Kodak Black, I'm leaving you.
Little boy, you need to relax yourself before
yo, where's my dog Bundog? We need Bundog. Yo, at Bundog in here too, guys.
But yeah, everybody go at Kodak Pink real quick, cuz.
The man's moving like he would have punched. The man likes to box, eh?
He likes to box, huh?
Come on, man. Get hit up and don't do shit. Get hit up and don't do shit. No who shot you ain't do shit. You're lucky I wasn't there. I would have left your talk about got out of jail, I'll box him. I'll let the live know in the world know. You throw a punch, I'm blowing your head out.
Sheesh.
Well, I think we can all say BUNDOG has one of the craziest come-ups in
It's the times we in, nigga. It's 2024, nigga. You throw a punch, I'm blowing your fucking head off. Niggas is not fighting, my nigga. Niggas is not fighting. Kodak Black, don't learn from no mistakes, man. You ain't learn from no mistakes, nigga. You threw a punch last time. Alright.
I don't know. He thinks shit gonna be different this time, man.
It ain't gonna be different this time, bro. Niggas gonna boom you again. You gonna keep fighting niggas. That's why I stopped putting my hands on niggas. Yeah, it's 2024. You don't put your hands on niggas no more, man. You put your hands on niggas, they won't. They might be in one of these, nigga. They might throw you in one of these, nigga. Throw you in one of these, nigga. Oh shit, I got weed up in here. Hold on. Yeah, throw you in one of these, nigga. Trap candy.
Tell you to a hat.
History. He had overcome hardships that could have easily swallowed him whole, but through resilience and the support of his community, he built a life he was proud of, transforming his past struggles into motivation for a brighter future. By sharing his journey, I hope I can inspire those within the streets of Toronto that growth and transformation are always within reach.
This weekend, we still on live. I mean, we still on kick. Tweaking, my bad, y'all. Sheesh. Like, comment, subscribe.
All that.